Welcome. Okay, let's begin. Oh, find your spot. Hopefully by now you've got a little spot that is your space, even if you have to clear it out each time you come to practice and then put it back, where things were. It's a nice little space around you. Maybe you're standing on a yoga mat, might be seated in a chair, might even be lying down in your bed. Wherever you're at, it's all good. Just take a moment to connect. Just like the feeling and the energy of a temple, a sacred place, gets stronger over time as we gather and we move into a state of being that is sacred and imparts that energy, that feeling into the environment. So I take this time to create sacred space where I stand in the area around me, the rooms of my home, my space. Just like places on earth that draw people to it, mountains and trees and sacred spiritual places. I find myself here. I am here. I am here and they are here with me. I am here in this place. I am here in this body, this divine vehicle. I am here in this heart, in divine love. I am here with this mind, in this consciousness. I am divine light. I am here in this moment, this present experience. I am here with this intention, a clarity of mind and purpose, a purity of heart and awareness. I bring all that I am into this moment. There is nowhere else I could be. I honor my choice in this act of self-care and self-love, of health and healing. And in turn, this act serves my life and those that I love and the world at large. In this process and journey, every day, in every way, we are growing healthier, stronger, better, and wiser. Adjusting breath. Exhale. Let the breath sink into the earth. Gather from the earth up. Let it reach up into the sky, calling the heavens, the cosmos here, into the earth, into us. Fill from the belly up, all the way up into the chest, the throat, all the way up into the head. Breathing from the top down. Squeeze it out of the body, all the way into the belly. Gather. And release. And just take a moment to feel the micro adjustments, the little shifts in our state of mind, our feeling body, our physical form. Just by those 3 deep breaths and a few moments of inner stillness can effect a great change in our physiology, in our state of mind, in our state of experience. Now let's activate the hands. Chi up. Rubbing the hands together, and if for some reason that action doesn't feel quite right to you, then just hold your palms together. And if holding your arms up is difficult, then just hold them down. Let them hang. It's okay. Free at any time to adjust myself, to adjust to my circumstances, my experience. I align with what is best for me, and I allow myself to act on that at all times. One more big deep breath. Let it cascade from the top down, just permeating gently, like a golden warm fluid, seeping through the body, all the way down into the toes and into the earth, and clasping the hands behind the back, one hand into the other. Feel the back of the wrist kind of moving up a little bit into the kidneys, lifting one heel at a time, dream walking, activating the soles of the feet, Yang Quan, the bubbling wells, springing life from the earth into this body. Bring it into the center. Let the hips move side to side, opening up the gates of energy flow through the joints, through the toes, and the ball, and the heel, the ankle, into the knees and the thighs, and up into the hip joint, to the pelvis, flowing up the spine into the head, flowing across the shoulders, opening up the shoulders, the elbows, into the wrists and the fingers. Just allowing this pumping action to cultivate and enhance the energy flow in our body. As breath, as spirit taking form. Just let the breath draw slow and deep into the belly. Feeling the pumping of the lungs, the cycling of breath. Bringing our awareness into the heart and the pumping of the heart, the circulation of oxygen, blood through the body. And slow it down and relax, shaking the branches of the tree. Again, free to adjust, to slow it down, to make it work for you. Maybe shift side to side or sway forward and back a little bit. Maybe rocking back onto the heels and then to the toes. Lifting the arms. If you ever need to get to the front of the line, this is the way to do it. I'm next. I'm next. Pick me. Pick me. Right? Or if you want to really embarrass somebody, yeah, this is the way to go. And up and let it go. Twisting side to side. So a lot of times we do our trunk twisting and let the arms circle around the body. But it's almost like you're walking. So we're going to kind of let the knees dip a little bit naturally, almost like you're just walking that natural stride, maybe a long stride, and your arms rise higher. Let them move diagonally across the body, only to the degree and speed that feels right to you. Just like we do with trunk twisting as we twist and turn side to side, pushing from the feet, translating up the body into the core, the qua, into the hips, through the spine, finally up to the head and out to the hands. Just let that natural, and then slow it down and relax. And just let your arms flip-flop. So then flip-flop, you'll feel it in the whole body. You might start to twist a little bit side to side. Now, twist, raise one hand, palm facing up to the center. Let the other hand go back, palm facing behind you. And then twist Let the palms naturally rotate, and we're getting an external rotation in the top arm, turning the hand out, but up and forward, so we get a rotation, a circling spiral with it. Letting the hand behind do an internal rotation or turning the thumb towards us. So as we twist and turn, turning from the waist, connecting to the feet, we're allowing that to translate as a natural twisting and moving of the arms. So we're slowing it down and using more of the muscles to create the movement. But in a few moments, we'll go back to the side arm swinging. And then we'll shift into this forward and upward, back and down turning. So now go ahead and relax. And almost like you're just kind of like walking in place. Let it twist your hips and your shoulders follow the hips. And as you twist side to side, let your arms move up. And maybe that's as high as you go, and maybe you're even lower and slower. Just feel what's right for you. Try to let the shoulders relax. So it's not the shoulder joint and the muscles that are moving my arms, it's my twisting side to side. And the more I twist and allow gravity to swing my arms down and then twist and pump them back up, only to the range and degree that feels right to you. And then slow it down, let the arms come more shoulder height or lower. And now twist a palm up and back. I'll give you a side view. As you twist side to side, you can place your gaze in your front palm as if you're scooping and holding something up into the air behind you. In front of you. And twisting side to side. And that might be the range and the speed that's right for you. And if you can, let them go really as high as they go and twist and look behind. If twisting and look behind doesn't feel right now, then just keep looking to the front, to the range that's right for you. And bring it back to the front. And release. And relax. You notice as the arms start to flip-flop, it kind of becomes a twisting side to side in the hips. And now beginning our trunk twisting side to side. Just start slow and easy and light. One of the things we want to learn to do is to move from our center, from our core, our lower abdomen, our lower dantian, the seat of the sacral and root chakras. And as we focus on twisting from the waist side to side, to twist the spine, to move the shoulders and to move the arms, I also push off from one foot to the other. And now I bring that connection from my middle section down into my feet as I connect my lower body to my upper body, up through my spine to my head and out through the arms to the hands. And then when you're ready to, and if that level of movement feels right, begin to lightly tap. Inviting spiraling energy in the body, twisting, adding circular rotation and momentum. We can talk about energy as light, as spirit, as divine, but we can also talk about energy as bioenergy and biochemistries and the physics. So as I push and twist, I generate power in my body, and then I allow that to flow. Pushing against the earth, and gravity is at the end of my twist is pulling my arms down, and then I add that by turning my body, and my arms keep moving without strain. And slow it down and relax. Hands on the thighs, bend the knees. I'm not going to a deep squat. I don't need to strain my knee joints. There's times where I want to stretch and seek my fullest range. But when I'm doing activities, emotions that I repeat over and over again, I want to be gentle with my joints and not cause undue strain or wear and tear. So I just bend my knees and point right above my big toes. I can go deeper than that and go down into a squat, but really just for now, make it gentle on the body and riding the wave. Arms floating up like water, legs lengthening all the way up to the legs being straight but not locking the knee joints back. Keeping a gentle bend at the knee joint. Keeping the gates open so energy flows smoothly, easily throughout my body. So I may reestablish balance, harmony, unity. The pushing against the earth causes my body to rise, and then I release and let myself float back down. You can imagine that like a gentle wave rolling across the ocean surface, rising and falling. A clear, serene day, or a beautiful night sky with a brilliant moon. Just traveling, the highs and the lows, embracing the expansion, the rising, the fullness, and at peace and okay with the descent, the rooting, the sinking, emptying out, releasing, gathering, rising up, releasing, sinking down. Bring your awareness into your belly and your breath into your belly, connecting the whole body as one at the core, the lower dantian, the lower abdomen, connecting the lower body and the upper body as one. You can breathe at your own pace or breathe with me. Exhale, inhale, gather, rise. Feel the fullness, release and sink, exhale. As if the breath inflates and makes you lighter. Allow yourself to deflate and sink back down, like losing buoyancy and then becoming buoyant again. One more big, deep breath. And release. You could be at the edge of your chair. You could be remain in a natural stance, or you can open up into what we would call a horse stance, where if you're riding on top of a horse, your weight would be evenly distributed unless you were leaning to one side for some reason. You'd be riding seated right in the center of the horse. So that's kind of where we want to be for this next exercise. And just placing the hands on the belly. Might turn my toes out a little bit, opens up my hip joints, and as long as I point my knees to wherever my toes are, that's going to be good alignment. And you might adjust in and out and change the toe positions as we go if your body gets tired of one position. Wave hands like clouds. Let one hand float out in front and then float up. I'm going to keep an awareness, a connection between the heart of my palm, center of my palm, with the center line of my body. I point my palm and my wrist towards my center. And now turn from the waist. Turning from the waist shifts the hips, shifts the shoulders, and leads my arm to the side. Let the hand float down and sink a little bit. You might stay, one level of the body. You might sink and rise with the movement. And now turning from the waist, let the arm rise. Palm still pointed towards my heart, pointing towards my spine. And then I turn from the waist to move my arm. My hands on my belly so I can remain energetically and mentally and physically connected to my lower center. So body movement begins here and then pushes down to the feet, and the earth and the feet push back. Letting the movement begin here as it rises through the spine into the shoulders and into the head. Allowing this circulation to take place. Gentle circulation in the joints. Twisting gently side to side with the wrist. The legs are fairly static right now, but we can add movement to that. Wave hands like clouds. And just let this begin to soothe and clear your mind. Just as we might watch the sky and the clouds move and form and dissipate and form again. Just letting the thoughts in our mind flow to take shape and dissolve, and just watching. Can't grab onto the thought. We don't need to. Can't grab the cloud. It moves through our fingers. Just let everything become light in the upper body and in the head, while feeling this great rootedness in the lower body. Now, turn the hand and let the opposite hand float out and up, aligning with the center line with the spine, and then turn from the waist. Whatever arm is up, and in action, we're going to turn towards that side, that shoulder, floating down, and then scooping across, turning from the waist, rising, focusing the palm towards the center, towards the heart, the throat. You know, I could do a really big circle or a small circle, but just drawing a circle in the air as if your arms were calligraphy brushes and you're dipping into the ink and drawing your circle in the air. It could be a very tight circle, it could be a really big circle. Just kind of feel it out, what feels right for you. And helping to circulate the energy throughout the body. And again, connecting the palm just below the belly button, the front access point to the sacral chakra, the top of the sea. I also imagine it like a cycle of oceans and lakes gathering, rising, becoming clouds, rolling across the sky and raining back down, returning to where it began. You might adjust your feet and come in a little bit more, go out a little bit more, free at any time to adjust the body. Now as one comes down, the other one comes up. Wonderful coordination for your body, your nervous system, your mind, for neuroplasticity. One floats down, one floats up, this outward moving circle on the top, inward moving circle on the bottom, which means that the upper arm is moving away from my body and my lower arm is coming in towards my body. One floats down and one floats up. And turn from the waist, connected in the belly still. letting my movement stem, originate from my lower body. Bring my awareness into my breath, into my belly. Now, I'll move back a little bit. Let's start with one hand so we're not so complicated. Huh? Go ahead and let one hand go. And whatever side you're at, turn the toe out and shift your weight into what we call the bow and arrow stance. Still nice and upright on my spine. I'm riding my lower body. I'm seated on my body. My body is rooted to the earth, allowing my spine, my body, upper body to rise. And then floating down, shifting the weight, toe turns in, kind of moving into a horse or an hourglass stance, depending on where your toes are at, and then letting the other foot turn out, rising, and then turn from the waist, move from the center, shift the weight, toe turns in, toe turns out, then the whole body once again move as one, and then shift the weight, toe turns in, toe turns out, moving to the opposite side, arm floating up, and then flow and move with it, and just let your own kind of natural adjustments take place. You might choose to stay in a centered stance so that you're not distracted if this feels like too much. Just letting everything work and coordinate together. And then return the hand to the belly, let the other hand rise up. And shift the weight, toe turns in. So what was the front toe turns in. It's going to become the back toe. I'm in the center. And then I shift my weight onto that leg to take pressure off what was my back leg as my toe turns out. And then I can press into my bow and arrow. One leg is more straight but not locked. Other leg is bent. Hand floats down as we scoop across. Toe turns in. Toe turns out. Rises. And then shifts and floats back across. Toe turns in. Toe turns out. And then just let go of the mind. Let go of the needing it to be just right. And just start to feel. Just feel it in the belly, feel it in the feet, upper body and the arms. And bring it to the center. Walk the feet in or shimmy. Just returning to a natural stance. One more big deep breath. And release. And just take a moment to nourish, to soak. Just like a sponge soaking in a tub. Just floating, just becoming saturated. Retains its form, but the sponge fibers soak up the fluid. Let your body float. Let your body soak in this nurturing, nourishing energy, this inspired, elevated energy, letting it seep into the physical forms, structures of the body, bringing fresh, radiant light, energy, rejuvenating, regenerating, replenishing. Just allowing the energy to increase where areas there was too little. I don't need to know where that was or is. I just invite this beautiful sensation, this spaciousness, this openness to allow the energy to flow where it is needed most. And I just invite the areas that were stuck or blocked, stagnated, or disconnected to form an updated connection, to release and then take in anew. Now, hands on the thighs. Give you a side view for this, kind of a side diagonal view. Just kind of stay nice and relaxed, and then bend the knees if you can. You might not get all the way down to your knees. You might just keep your hands higher on the thighs. But I'm going to round my body, and as if I'm trying to bring my chin to my tailbone and letting my tailbone come under and forward, and my chin, my crown to come down. Rounding in the back, concaved in the chest. And then lift the head and bring the tailbone back, but keep the knees bent. So now I'm going to arc back, rounded in the chest and concaved in the back, and let my hands kind of come in to the area of my top thigh, my groin area. Let my elbows come back. Lift my chin if I can, as if trying to bring the back of my head to my tailbone. And then with the knees still bent, and you might be more gentle and it might be less exaggerated. It might be very small range, so it doesn't have to be what I'm doing now. If I can, I'm going to arc forward, bring my tips of my fingers to my knees or somewhere along my thigh, and then lift the tailbone back and lift the chin up, pulling the elbows back behind you, just like you're going to do the chicken dance. Hands maybe around the connection of the thigh, the hip, pelvis area, groin. Lifting the tailbone behind you, head drop behind, and then melting forward. We could do this with coordinated breath. For now, just breathe into your belly, breathe in your own pace. Lift once again. And then relax the arms and lift the chin and just come to a neutral stance with my knees bent, acting as a shock absorber. I can relax my lower back and my core area. Interlacing the fingers like you're going to give somebody a boost, but bringing the hands behind the back. And now, with not as much bend in the knees are, the legs are a little more lengthened. I'm going to tuck my chin forward and my tailbone under. I could even gently push with my hands on my butt, on back of my thigh area, and just kind of tuck in a little bit, rounding the back, convexing the back, emptiness in the chest, concaved in the chest. And lift the tailbone, lift the chin, the head, only to the degree that feels right to your body as we gently massage the spine. And then tipping forward, tailbone rolls under. You're going to feel an activation at the top of the thigh. And if you can get your hands below your butt, that's great. If you can't, that's great too. Whatever you can do. We're all in different bodies, different starting points, ranges of movement, different sizes. Just do what's right for you. And then tailbone back and head back. Only as far as you can, breathe into the belly. And then tip forward, arcing forward, tailbone coming under and forward. Continue to breathe into the belly. One more time, up. And then rest to neutral, release the hands. And once again, just take a moment to relax. Help them to activate the spine, chakras, and the energy flowing to and from the fingers into the body and back, to and from the toes into the body and back. Let yourself feel light, buoyant, yet tethered and rooted to the earth. If we're only pushing up into the sky, if we're only interested in the higher states and higher levels, then sometimes that can get a little too spacey, right? Ungrounded. So as much as I want to rise and experience higher states of being and joy and bliss and connection, it's very important that I remain grounded and rooted, that my feet keep me connected to the earth. I came here I'm in a body for a reason. So as much as I can expand and travel, I also remain grounded, rooted into this form, into this body, so long as my life continues. And resting the thigh, hands on the thighs once more. You might shift a bit, step in place, shake out the legs. I'm used to standing. I think I'm on about 2 or 3 hours of standing Qigong and meditation from this morning, along with an hour of seated meditation. But sometimes I only have 5 minutes, 15 minutes, half hour, a couple times throughout the day. So the more frequently we tune in and check in with ourselves and stretch the body a little bit and breathe a little bit, to take a mental break, to soften and relax, the more that builds and cultivates centeredness, groundedness, and elevation. And looking behind. Bend the knees. This time we're going to go as deep as we can into the knees without causing pain or strain. So if your body can't go as deep as mine is, then don't worry about it. All the way up to the point where I'd have to bend at the waist to go deeper. I'm just going to go as deep as I can. So I'm actually going to go far past my toes if I can. I'm going to take my full range of movement, but I won't be repeating this hundreds or thousands of times in a sitting. It'll just be a few. So it's okay. I just don't want if I have pain feedback, then I want to soften and lighten up, even take a seat if I'm done standing. Looking behind, activating and connecting through the Chiang Mai, the central channel, through our lower, middle, upper cores, these centers of energy and a physical connection. Inviting heart and mind coherence, inviting parasympathetic relaxation, and straighten the legs and turn the head to one side, looking across the shoulder. And just be aware and mindful of what's right for you. If this next step doesn't feel good in this time, just come back to where you're at right now. If you can, take the eyes and look far behind your shoulder, activating the eyes and the third eye, bringing energy up into the head. And then press the palms firmly against the thighs. Feel the strength in your chest and your arms. And slowly bend the knees. Feel the tension in the legs as you release the head, allowing it to turn slowly to the front. But keep your eyes behind you if you can. And then when you're about halfway home, release the eyes as the head, eyes come center, and the knees bend as deep as you can without leaning. And close your eyes for a second and relax if you can. Up, looking behind to the side, straighten the legs and turn the head without straining the neck. I'm not going for a tight twist. I'm soft and relaxed in the body, and then I can either look directly to the side or look behind my shoulder. Eventually you'll be able to look behind. Both eyes looking behind you. Press the palms firmly against the thighs. Make a connection between the belly and the body, the lower body, up through the solar plexus and heart, up into the throat, up into the eyes, up to the crown, all the way up and down. Press the palms, bend the knees, Let the head begin to swing to the front, looking behind the shoulder. And when your head's at about a 45-degree angle, or about halfway home, release the eyes. So the eyes and the head syncopate once again. And relax. Now with breath, and if controlled breathing doesn't feel right for this experience today, then just breathe at your own pace. Exhale. Gather. Cleansing exhale. Close your eyes if you can. Open if you need help with balance. Gather and release. Priming the pump. Adjusting the breath. Helps to adjust my mind, my feeling body, my physiology, my nervous system. Exhale fully. Hands on the thighs, knees bent. Up, inhale, look behind. Hold the breath, look behind if you can, or just to the side. Press the palms against the thighs, bend the knees, turn the head, and cleanse to center. Relax the body, hold the breath, extra breath if you need one. Exhale again, inhale up to the other side. Hold the breath in, look behind, or look to the side. Press the palms, turn the head, exhale. Gather and release. Walk it out or shimmy the feet, toes out, breath in. Heels out, breath out. You might go wider, but this feels right to me. Relax the breath. Begin to circulate your field. Gathering from the earth, gathering from the sides, not just where the arms are, but the front and the back. Lifting all the way up above the head, and imagine there's a golden halo, a golden funnel receiving from above, pouring into the crown, pouring into the body, flowing through the center from top down, through the legs, into the feet, into the earth, and from between the legs, a golden root connecting to the center of the earth, flowing all the way down. Circulate, refine, empowering our energy field, our personal space, our aura, our guardian field, our electromagnetic body, our energy body. Just as there's a covalence and energy connection on the atomic level, that our feet don't actually touch the earth. There is almost like a hovering that occurs, that the cells and atoms of what makes up my feet has a certain type of bond, and that bond rests on the earth, which has its own bond. And let the energy rise from the space between the earth and your feet, rising through the body and out to the sides and up, and pouring down through the center. And now you can shimmy the feet or walk them in. Breath in, breath out. And now once from the inside out, gather from the earth up, all the way up and out, and cleanse or relax the breath. Brushing out the tangles. Gather energy up and pour it down in all directions, circulating back into the earth and circulating into the root and sacral chakra. One more time, big deep breath. And cleanse. and relax. If you can, just hang out for a minute and marinate and rest. And if you need to, go ahead and get yourself ready to transition into what's happening next in your day. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. She ni. Good stuff. Thank you.